Back here on NFL Live, the NFL Draft is approaching quickly and lots of quarterback needs, but even more question marks on where quarterbacks will land in this year. As you know, quarterbacks have dominated the draft lately. 5 quarterbacks were taken on night 1 in 2 of the last 4 drafts. This year, there are plenty of signal callers that could find their way into the first round, but it might be a little bit different. You know, Matt, we keep hearing this is a, quote, weak quarterback class, but just how weak is this class?
Yeah, Field, it's not great, and I hate to do that to all the fans out there that need a franchise quarterback this year, but it's not. You just showed the guys up there: Trevor Lawrence, Joe Burrow, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield. There's not a quarterback in this class that's on that level. In fact, I would go as far as to say the 5 quarterbacks drafted in the first round last year would each be the number 1 quarterback selected this year, and would probably be the number 1 player drafted in this year's class. So I do look at it as there's some good players here. There's 7 quarterbacks who I believe have starting traits. Kenny Pickett from Pitt being my number 1 quarterback right now. But with each of these players, you could kind of poke holes in their game, and it does give you some cause for concern, especially if you're drafting them in the first round and expecting them to come in and be that number 1 quarterback and franchise type quarterback.
Yeah, listen, Matt, you know, you talk about the quarterbacks. You know, the crazy thing is there are some teams out there that need quarterbacks. You know, a team like the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Washington Commanders, the Carolina Panthers, and this is a terrible year where you need a quarterback and there's not one of those elite guys out there. So I think with those 3 organizations, there's more organizations that need a quarterback. They're going to have to do something, whether it's draft or trade for a veteran quarterback. I think the veteran market is going to be fascinating because the down year as far as these draft eligible guys coming out.
Oh, you're absolutely right. And there's a lot of names out there, not just Aaron Rodgers and maybe Deshaun Watson, maybe Russell Wilson, but Jimmy Garoppolo. Mitch Trubisky as a free agent is probably going to clean up this offseason, which goes to show how this draft class is viewed by NFL teams. That we might see Mitchell Trubisky and Jameis Winston, guys who were formerly the number 1 quarterbacks in their class, are going to get second and third chances. Marcus Mariota, a backup for the Raiders, another name that will probably be in contention, as there are too many teams that have a need versus how many starter level quarterbacks there are. So next week's going to help a lot with the NFL scouting combine. We saw 6 of these guys at the Reese's Senior Bowl about a month ago. Some impressed, some did not. But I think there's still a lot of question marks as far as who these players are, what they can do. And now that we have all the head coaching vacancies filled, trying to figure out how they will fit in some of these individual situations.
Man, it's so crazy to go from last year, where we knew it was Trevor Lawrence. The order was who would come after Trevor, to this year where nobody seems to have a consensus number 1. But, Matt, you mentioned that as of right now, Kenny Pickett is your number 1 quarterback. Is he also the most NFL-ready quarterback in your opinion?
Yeah, he most certainly is. I think some of that is being a senior player as well, just a lot more experience than some of the other guys in this class. But I also think catchability is probably a word you're going to hear me use a lot this year when we're talking about Kenny Pickett. He throws a very catchable ball. Sometimes it's that simple.
No, okay.
His accuracy, his field vision, the way that he can bounce from read to read. And we've seen that on tape. I've seen it in person down at the Senior Bowl, where he is a smart player. He doesn't have the biggest arm. He's not the most athletic, but he is very accurate. He's smart, and he also got better every year at Pitt. That's what you want to see, as a guy who is ascending as a player still, even though he is a little bit older of a prospect. I believe he'll turn 24 during his rookie season, but he is still, I think, the most pro-ready when you look at what he was given in college and what he's likely to be asked to do in the NFL.
Not comparing them, but worth noting, Joe Burrow, older prospect as well. The Bengals are certainly happy with how things have turned out 2 years into his career.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.